A 17-year-old high schooler raced 44:10 in the 400 meters against professional adults. And when it did, Michael Johnson, the best 400-meter runner ever, said something you would not expect to hear from a man who spent his whole career trying to educate people on how brutally hard this event really is. We will get there, but before you do that, you have to know who Quincy Wilson is. The record is amazing, but the tale of how he almost lost everything before he even got there, no one is talking about that. Let us go. Come, Chesapeake, VA. Quincy Wilson has a normal life in a normal community, with a normal family. Nothing about him suggests he could be a potential world record holder. His parents are sports nuts. His mother, Monique, was a Hall of Fame college soccer and basketball player. His father, Roy, played football for the Naval Academy. His older sister, Cadence, runs track at James Madison University. Sport is in the blood, but parents who are athletes don't create Usain Bolt. Many athletes' kids stay at home. What makes Quincy's experience unique is a decision his family made when he was young, a decision that most families would never even consider. They were up and going, not to a house in the same neighborhood, not a bigger house in the same neighborhood. They packed up their belongings and relocated from Chesapeake, VA to Potomac, MD, so Quincy could attend a school named Bullis, a private school with a major athletics department and a coach. The family thought he could do something special with their kid. What does that even mean? Think about it. His parents stared at their baby and said, "We believe in you enough to walk away from everything we know, new house, new city, new everything, all on a gamble on this boy is going to pay off." That is a lot of expectation to place on a teenage guy before he has proved anything at senior level. And now the strain is beginning to show. But before we get to it, you need to understand exactly how fast this kid was from the start, because the metrics at 14 years old weren't just extraordinary for his age, they were historically ridiculous. Quincy Wilson ran a national under-14 record in the 400 meters, breaking OBA Moore's 30-year-old mark. He is still in junior high. The athletics world takes a little notice, the kind that happens when the extremely fast kid does something amazing, and everyone immediately wonders if it will hold up when the competition becomes genuine. The difficulty with juvenile records is that they get broken all the time by kids that disappear. Perhaps you have seen it yourself. Some 15-year-old runs a crazy time, and everybody goes crazy, and then 5 years later, nobody can remember their name because the body did not develop the way everybody hoped, or the mind could not handle the pressure, or life just got in the way. This is going on all the time. When 14-year-old Quincy Wilson breaks a 30-year-old national record, the serious people in the sport are impressed, but not convinced. Let's see now what you can do when it's a real contest. Let us see what you can do when the races really count. Let us see if this was a fluke outcome on a big day with a tailwind and a soft field. There is every reason for the doubters to be skeptical. They know this story, and then something happens that shuts a lot of people up very fast, but then it causes a whole other problem that almost blows the whole thing up. Joe Lee Bullis, school head coach. This is the guy the family changed states for, and the one thing that sets him apart from many of the teachers working with young prodigies is the one thing that looks easy but is actually very unusual. He's not pushy with Quincy. In a world where young athletes are over-raced, overtrained, and worn out before they reach their peak, Joe Lee organizes Quincy's seasons carefully. He's going to defend him. He writes the schedule down, he controls when Quincy gets on the floor, and when he's on the bench, music, and believes in the long game, even when the short-term results aren't there. And the internet starts raising questions. Patience is not exciting. Not the headlines, but just why what follows is even conceivable. One thing about Quincy Wilson tells you all you need to know about what kind of child he really is. Music under all the hype. His first race at the Olympics in Paris, with the whole world watching, with his name trending everywhere, and a reporter asked him what he wanted to celebrate. He wanted to go home and play Call of Duty with his friends. No sponsors dinner. This was not an interview trip. Call of Duty, Wilson, Quincy, that is what he is. A kid who also happened to be an Olympic champion. Quincy Wilson, DB, age 16, Paris 2024 Olympics, named to Team USA's 4x400 meter relay pool, the youngest track and field Olympian in American history. 128 years of American Olympics for men. No one has ever been younger. He runs the relay's leadoff leg in the prelims. You could see he was nervous. His 47.27 is not his best, but the team qualifies, and then in the final with Wilson, not in the running order. The rest of the squad runs a gold medal race. 16-year-old Quincy Wilson, Olympic gold medalist. He is not a high school graduate yet. Drop that. He has an Olympic gold medal and he's in the classroom doing his homework. The whole world is watching this youngster now. He sells out every single meet he goes to. People notice when his name is on the start list, and the expectations go from high to stratospheric overnight. And that's music where the fight begins, because there's a big difference between a prodigy that everyone's watching and a champion that everyone's depending on. And in 2025, Quincy Wilson sees the devastating cost of that imbalance. And you get to 2025, and it is bad pretty early. The Virginia Showcase happens in January. Quincy is entered in the 500 meters, which he is favored to win. He gets beat up by another high schooler, Andrew Salvador, and not by a hair. Salvador goes 1:01.49. Quincy clocked 1:02.49. He is 2 seconds off, internet going to internet. 3 months ago, he was the future of American running, and today there are think pieces music on whether the joy was real. Then comes the outdoor season, and it gets worse. He gets beat at the Florida Relays. He is defeated in other battles. He won't be eligible for the 2025 World Championships. Olympic winner at 16, not making the World Championships team at 17 years old. A guy comments on social media, Quincy Wilson needs a break. The schedule is too much. They are watching a burnout happen in real time. Fans are baffled. The experts are worried. Those who were Trump skeptics from the outset feel validated. Meanwhile, 17-year-old Quincy Wilson is handling all of this in the public glare as he tries to finish his final year of high school. Imagine what that really feels like. You're a teen, you got an Olympic gold medal, and the whole internet is asking about if you're done. Most kids crumble under pressure. Most of the young people start to make changes. New strategy, new training, new everything to fix what is broken. In a hurry, Quincy Wilson went back to the basics and back to Joe Lee. Onto the rail. And what went on in Memphis shut us all the hell up. Leave it in the comments below. Now, when he had a tough year in 2025, did you write Quincy Wilson off, or did you see he was going to come back? I want to study 13th of July 2025. Memphis, TN, Ed Murphy Classic. Quincy Wilson runs the 400-meter at a true professional meet with real professional competitors. Not a high school race, not a junior race. Bryce Deadman is in the field. One of the nation's quickest 400-meter runners, a man full-grown who's been racing at this level for years now. Wilson is in the 5th lane. First 200 meters, he runs hard, keeps control, then really opens himself in the back straight. 44.10 cc. Music, the stadium erupts. So let me give you some context for that statistic, because that is really what puts some meat on the bones. 44.10. Fastest 400 meters ever run by an athlete under the age of 18 anywhere in the world in the history of the sport. No 17-year-old on earth has ever run that fast. It is also the second fastest time ever by an under 20 athlete. Music playing. And it was the 4th quickest music time ran by anybody in the whole world in 2025 in all ages, not just teens, everybody. Elite athletes at the top of their game just hanging out, doing nothing but preparing for this event. That year, a 17-year-old high school guy ran the 4th fastest 400 meters in the world. Music, he beat Bryce Deadman. He beat all the pros of that game. He drove from the front, in command, as if the result had been prearranged. Live viewers said they had no idea what it was. Never seen a teen get hold of a race like that from the start, one observer said. Another hailed it as one of the best performances in track and field history. Not youth track and field. No more athletics. Michael Johnson, the man who held the world record in the 400 meters for years and who spent his whole career explaining why this event breaks people, watched 44.10 happen and had to realize what he was watching. A generational talent, the kind that comes around once in a decade if you're lucky. 44.10 repeat, 44.10 at 17. The kid who was getting dusted by high school competitors back in January. The kid the internet wrote off, the youngster people thought was burning up in real time. That youngster just raced the fastest 400 meters by an under 18-year-old in world history. And then I tell you what took place. But look at how Quincy Wilson handled all of that, and it tells you more about who he really is than any numbers could ever tell you. After the record was broken, after the stadium was built. Over to the next one, Quincy Wilson posted on his Instagram stories after his coach allegedly splashed champagne on the infield because the regulations indicate you can't drink it at 17. Speechless, no calling out competitors, do not stare at me. No big caption about the voyage and the skeptics and the return. 3 words and back to work. Music, there is the whole person, right there. This is the boy whose family relocated states for him. This is the adolescent who walked away from the Olympics, went home and began playing Call of Duty. That is the athlete that got slapped around in public for 6 months and didn't worry, never got off the plan. Quincy Wilson is 18 now, and he is the next guy and terrifying for everyone else in this event. He is not even at his prime physically yet. The greatest is yet to come. They are right behind. On average, the top 400-meter runners are in their mid to late 20s. Wilson has 10 years of development in front of him. The world record for 400 meters is 43.18 seconds. Michael Johnson, 1999. It's been around almost 25 years. Nobody in the intervening years has come within half a second of it. Quincy Wilson music 44.10 at just 17 years old. Crunch the numbers. Take the road, picture this boy. Coming into his 24th or 25th year, matured, running on the biggest stages in the world, with years of experience behind him. Not only is the world record under jeopardy, if Quincy Wilson stays healthy, stays focused, and keeps doing what he did in Memphis, the world record is in serious jeopardy, and Los Angeles 2028 is just around the corner. Olympic Games in the United States. The whole country is looking at us. Quincy Wilson, 20 years old, Olympic champion at 16, world record holder at age 17. What is the 20? So in the comments, I want you to tell me all to play for. 20 years old. Home crowd. Quincy Wilson, Los Angeles 28, will he win the 400 meters gold and break Michael Johnson's world record on home soil, or will the pressure of the home Olympics get to him? Let it go. I have read them all. And if you want the whole breakdown of what Quincy Wilson does next season and if he can finally qualify for a world championship, then subscribe because that video is coming very, very soon. Quincy Wilson is not after world records or Olympic gold. It reminds us that every headline has a young child behind it, growing up, learning, and carrying the weight of expectation. If we as a culture can accept possibilities, not perfection, we judge people on a poor day, not years of hard effort and sweat. Too quick, by opting to celebrate rather than chastise, we might be molding future leaders, sportsmen, and innovators. Greatness is built on patience, respect, and opportunity. Sometimes the best gift you can give someone is the gift of belief.